Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering as Dom just tries to get the food down him. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Gooner Limits. Of course, I'm joined by Arsenal Domination is over there. How are you, Dom?
Yeah, all good, all good. I've wolfed food down so I can do this podcast before I go and, get a thumping at football tonight. I'm going to pretend I'm Ange Postecoglou.
It's just how we are, mate.
Yeah.
You'll be like Ange, but you'll win.
We won last time,
Okay.
It's all about the winning and how you do it.
We stayed up last season by the skin of our teeth, but, we're older than everyone else, so...
I know the feeling on that front, mate. Of course, we're joined by Posh Bertie down there. Hello, mate. How's Somerset?
My dad has instructed me to say that I am the poshest man in the city of your T20 champions, and he didn't tell me to say your like that. That was paying homage to somebody. But yes,
Hi, Adam Pachetti. How you doing?
I went to Birmingham on Saturday for T20 finals day, despite the fact that Kent didn't make it. But my dad's team of Somerset did. And yes, Somerset, my new hometown, are the champions. I arrive at Somerset, and then a month later, the cricket team wins the trophy. I'm not saying that I'm to blame for it all, but it's a coincidence. And I'm a bit hungover still. But hey, nothing can recover me more than a Gooner Gathering live stream.
Thank you very much. Just have a look, see who is watching with us. Stacey is with us. She says hi and hello to the newest rat daddy, apparently.
We all know what the rat army does stand for, but it's not that kind of rat. Yes, no. My one of my two cats, I'm not sure which, bought me a lovely little gift in the form of a rat this morning. So that's the first gift they bought in the Somerset era. So there we are.
Fantastic. Good to see. Good to see. BX is here. Hello. Hello. AFC Always is here. Big up. He says, I can see Mr. Tom in the chat, of course. Let's just... This is where my the Apple book doesn't want to play along. But Mr. Tom is there. There he is. Hello.
He's saying hello to me and BX, but he hasn't said hello to you two. So it's good to see where Mr. Tom's priorities lie.
Well, it's fine. We're all friends together. It's okay.
No, Lee, I'm off. I'm not doing this anymore.
Oh no, we have Mr. Tom. We need Mr. Dom.
That's it.
As long as we don't have to put up with Mr. Ben, we'll be all right. For those who are old enough to remember.
Oregon Goons in the chat as well. Hello. Welcome, everybody. If you're all in here now, you know what to do. This is YouTube. Please, the algorithm, of course, I'm going to actually plug Dom first. Arsenal Domination we are dual broadcasting, so make sure you're following Arsenal Domination. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on both our channels here at Gooner Gathering and Arsenal Domination. Hit the like button, subscribe, press the bell icon so you don't miss a live video. I think that's all the things I need to say. Right, so let's talk about why we're here, shall we? I need to clear that. Get Gooner Gathering up to 500 subs. Thank you very much, yes. Oregon Goon. We're on the way. We're not far away at all. I think last count, we're on something like 431. So thank you very much. You guys are amazing. We're nearly there, and nearly on the magic number of 1,000, which we all need to get. And so Stacey loves it. So thank you very much. Right, let's talk football, shall we? Right. So Arsenal bounced back after the disappointing 1-0 defeat late on to Liverpool at Anfield by a very convincing win against Nottingham Forest on the last game before the international break. So a few things we need to talk about. Well, one thing we need to talk about is William Saliba, of course, getting injured at Anfield prior to the match. We never really covered it too much, apart from Dom's short video just after the final whistle. So Saliba rolled his ankle in the warm-up. We don't think we did ourselves any favours on that game at Anfield by playing him, and of course got replaced within minutes by the new signing Christian Mosquera. At Anfield, I thought he was fantastic, and of course he had his full debut against Forest on a Saturday. So yes, absolutely a good move on that one.
Can I
I'll
add
give.
my
I was going to say throw it to Posh because I know you want to say something
yeah?
here.
Well, I add my 2 cents on Saliba's injury. So apparently he felt some discomfort in the warm-up, yet
Yeah.
Arteta in his infinite wisdom started him. I don't know why he did that, because if he felt discomfort or felt like he had a knock in the warm-up, you don't want to take any risks, especially against Liverpool when you've got almost a half-injured player there. You want to make sure your team is fully fit for that game. But what I will say is that about 3 seasons ago, when we would have had to bring on Rob Holding, it would have been a different story. But Mosquera coming on, do you know what? I was very impressed with Mosquera. It's early days, but do you know what? I think he's done very well. I think he's fitted in the team very well, and that's always good to see. And from what I gathered, he did well against Notts Forest as well. I shouldn't have called them Notts. I apologise. I'm going to be in timeout now because I did something.
Absolutely fine.
Just really quickly, Lee, just on that. I mean, I think Posh is absolutely right. I did a video the day after pretty much saying exactly the same thing. If he's rolled his ankle, you don't want to take any risk. I presume the reason why he did was, Mosquera at this point not made his debut, untested in the Premier League, and it was at Anfield against the best attack, and I think he wanted to put out his best defence. But I agree with Posh. Anyone that's rolled their ankle, you are going to struggle. There's no way you're getting through 90 minutes. It was a daft decision to do that. But Mosquera has been a revelation. Very good again on Saturday. Obviously not massively tested, but he made that lovely tackle just after. I think it was just after Wood hit the crossbar with that sort of weird effort. And there was a couple of other good moments he did. And he's very comfortable on the ball. Great signing for 15 million.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to that bit when we come across that chronologically. Oregon Goon saying, yeah, ha, true Bertie, Rob Holding, laugh out loud. Of course, his time at Crystal Palace was spectacular as well.
It shows how far we've come, right?
Exactly, right. And you also made a very good video about the transfer business that Arsenal have done, and the fact that we come into this game without maybe Ben White, who's only just come back into the side after a little bit of an injury, Saliba being out, Rice rested. We had an interesting looking midfield of Odegaard back temporarily, Zubimendi and Marino. So we had a former Real Sociedad midfield and a new front three, the Eze, Noni Madueke and Victor Gyökeres lining up. So it like Dom said a little bit ago, it just shows how far we've actually come in the last little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just very, very briefly want to just touch on the Liverpool game very quickly, because I know we didn't talk about it. When I saw the team lineup before the Liverpool game, I just felt a bit dejected, because I kind of knew, he's either playing for a draw or praying that we get a cheeky set piece. It wasn't and praying we just hold on, but it wasn't really adventurous. I'm not saying go all out attack against Liverpool, because that would be a really reckless thing to do. But we could have been a bit more adventurous. That front three against Nottingham Forest, that should have been the front three against Liverpool, in my view. I didn't want Martinelli starting. He was awful in that game. When Eze came on, we looked better on the left. That's just what should have happened. And if Odegaard wasn't available, I would have rather saw Ethan instead of Marino. But that's that. And we played a bit negative in the game. That's the Liverpool game. Yes, it does show how far we've come compared to where we were 3 seasons ago, when actually the squad was very small. And whilst we had a bit of dead wood in the squad prior to deadline day, and a lot of them we've had to kind of take them out on loan, so they're still part of the squad. we have got a lot more depth in attack, which is very reassuring, and in defence as well, especially with the new defender from Leverkusen coming in. It has been, it's been a good transfer window. The only issue I had is how much of kind of a panic it was to sell players because they're all out on loan.
I get that point. I get that point. Apart from, I think Sambi's gone on a permanent. I think Zinchenko's contract ends at the end of this season. That's why it might have been, I think Nelson's the same thing actually. When
Nelson's got one more.
Right, got one more. Well, we'll come to him in a sense. Zinchenko, of course, unavailable, play against his parent club over Saturday. Nelson didn't play for Brentford in their game. Wasn't that against Chelsea? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was an unused sub, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad I said that. I haven't even got that written down, ladies and gentlemen. What a pro I am. And other things to say about the squad. That Posh mentioned the new defenders. Hincapié is the chap you're thinking of, sir.
I didn't know how to pronounce his name, so yeah.
Well, I gave it my best shot. Of course, unused as well. White and Max Dowman never figured in this game, and a lot of people are calling for him. Think they need to just calm their jets a little bit on Max Dowman because he's only 15. But let's get into some of the play. There was an Odegaard free kick on 7 minutes, and this was headed on. Marino had a pretty decent shot. I think the goalkeeper Sells got himself very big and made an instinctive save. Whether he meant it or not, he made it very difficult for Marino to score. Did really well, the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, the play after that, Odegaard was taken out, and he's done the same shoulder. It was the right shoulder, and again, just like the Leeds game, was replaced by Ethan Nwaneri. So, first of all, that was the first major sort of talking point in the game. Dom, anything to add on it?
No, I think you're spot on. Sells makes a good save. Moreno will be disappointed not to score from there. I think he gets that chance. 4 out of 5, he's going to put them in. But credit to the goalkeeper, he's put it on target, and he's hit it hard, and it's hit Sells. Odegaard really unfortunate, isn't he? I mean, it's twice you get the contact injury and go over like that to fall on the shoulder. If it is true, and we can only assume it is because he played for Norway as well, and he is completely free of discomfort, then I don't think there can be criticism in playing him. I think to the point that Posh and I were talking about earlier on Saliba, if there was any doubt over him, why risk him against Leeds when you've got City, Newcastle, and Athletic Club coming up? But Ethan Nwaneri, I thought, has been really quite impressive in his play. And I think Odegaard, we know, is out tomorrow. Nwaneri, for me, absolutely starts in that. As I said in my preview earlier, before I knew Odegaard was out, that's what I said I would do, and I expect to see that tomorrow.
And now is that come out of the late press conference?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I'm fine with that, because I think the last thing we want to do is rush him back. I think Posh might actually agree with us here, because he was a bit worried that Saliba was going to come back a bit early, right? So, go on, Posh.
No, we were told that he was out for around 3 to 4 weeks, and a week later he's suddenly training. This is the thing with Arteta. He hasn't got a thing for rushing players back. You saw what happened with Saka. He got, I know it was a different injury, but it was a injury nonetheless against Leeds, and I just think we've got to be careful there. And I don't want Saliba being. I know we've got Mascara, but Saliba, I don't want him getting injured again, because he's an integral part to the squad. And Odegaard had the same shoulder injured as well. So
yeah, I think just really quickly here, I think there's a difference to a couple of years ago where you needed those players rushed back because Saka was out, who was coming in. Holding came in for Saliba. I can understand why. We're not in that position now. I don't actually think the Saka injury was necessarily related to him being rushed back. He's had the sort of summer off. And nor do I think the Odegaard injury. I think that's just unfortunate to land on the same shoulder. But I think, Posh's point is absolutely right. I think, I would be reticent if I wouldn't play Saliba tomorrow unless he's absolutely fit. But I think if he is fit, then you want to play him tomorrow if you want to start him against City. I think those are the sort of two things I would sort of say there to get some match sharpness back in. But I don't think you want to risk him tomorrow. Crucial as tomorrow's game is, if they're not fit, because we are in a position now. Someone said in the comments a few minutes ago, it's a window we should have had 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think you can have that window 2 or 3 years ago because we weren't
financially in position.
Well, financially, but also the team wasn't there, were they? I mean, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, you're coming off the back of one title push, that no one sort of saw coming. Teams aren't going to necessarily do that, and you can't sort of bring all those players in financially. Are those players going to want to come? It's why I believe there's a building process, but it certainly was a window that was needed to finish it off. And we said this before, but he now has the complete squad. If he has a season like he had last season with injuries, well, you have to look at the manager. You can have a one-off season like that. Klopp's had it before. So's Pep. Most clubs have it at some point. You can have it as a one-off, but you can't have it continually. Otherwise, that is on you. So, we'll put the pressure on him because he has the most complete squad now.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Dom, I'm going to ask you this question because I don't know the answer to this. AFC Always is saying, isn't Odegaard having surgery?
I haven't seen he's having surgery, but there is an option that they're looking at. Will he require surgery given the fact he's just gone over on it again? But I don't know if he is having surgery. I haven't seen it. I will see if I can find out.
Thank you very much. Let's put the other comment here as well. Right, let's see if I can actually see it because it's a bit small for me on my phone. Saka was rushed back. He should have come back late September, early October. After the grade 3 hamstring. Look, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. What I have heard is that Saka's doing pretty good and he's not far away. But I don't think we'll see him.
I think he was rushed back, right? They rushed him back because they wanted to see if he could play in the semi-final against PSG, right? I mean, there's unquestionably rushed back.
Season, yeah,
do I think that impacted his injury 3-4 months later? No, I don't. I don't think it did. Would be my view there. I can't see anything on Odegaard requiring surgery. I know it was an option in the immediate aftermath, but Arsenal not confirming anything. As with the Saliba injury, it was reported, as Posh rightly said, 3 to 4 weeks, a couple of weeks ago. But Arsenal never confirmed their length of injuries, so it's always hard to tell.
Fair enough. I've been told to correct myself. It's not an Apple book; it's a Chromebook that I'm doing the comments from. I've just been told off by Stacey privately.
No.
So sorry, Stace.
I wouldn't have known.
Well, no, it's it's the same difference, right? But yeah, fair enough. I didn't want to upset her. Right. AFC Always in the comments says Arteta will ruin certain Arsenal players' World Cup dreams next summer. Are we still doing that?
Well, listen, I think we've got the most number of injuries so far in the league, and this isn't bad luck at all. It's from last season going into this season. It's not bad luck when it's been happening time and time again. This is a management issue, I'm afraid. You do have to question Arteta's training methods might be too intense. I've said this as far back as 2023, and now more people are saying it.
Dom, do you want to respond to him?
I mean, we don't know, right? But I think it's something he said himself after last season he needs to look at, which suggests that there is something in that and that he needs to do it. In terms of this season's injury, I think there has been a lot of them have been contact injuries. I think when you're starting to look at lots of muscle injuries like last year, that's where you need to have a look. It can happen. And I think muscle injuries are definitely on the increase around the league because of the amount of football that's been played. And that's where I think what's going to be important this season is he has to rotate more. And there were some positive signs of that at the weekend. Declan Rice rested for the game, for instance. But I think there is probably some truth in overtraining. Because otherwise he wouldn't have made those comments himself about having to look at it. But, from the outside, we don't know. But it does tend to suggest if he's saying that was something he needs to look at. I think there has been an element of bad luck this year in terms of the fact they've been contact injuries. And I think last year's injuries were exasperated by what I call the snowball effect, i.e. you have 3 or 4 injuries and then you have to overplay the players. You know, Havertz was a classic example of that. You know, and I have some sympathy for him because everyone was complaining he was playing number 5 at right back last year when to rest Timber when Tomiyasu and White were injured, and then complained that Havertz got injured by being overplayed. It's like, well, you can't be both, right? But I think, you know, last year lessons definitely had to be learned. As I say, you can't do that 2 years running and call it all bad luck. At that point, you have to look at yourself.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Thank you very much for that. Right, let's get into the opening goal, shall we? And as first goals for a club go, this was pretty good, I thought.
I don't know about you, Posh. I thought you could have done better, Posh, don't you?
I'm just looking. Apparently, we're playing Newcastle and we're winning 1-0 according to this live stream. We've got
that's not the button I pressed.
We've got
that's
a live
not
score
fair to me. That's
from
not
a game
fair.
back in May. It's not fair to me.
He's seeing the future.
Okay, I will deal with that situation. Thank you very much, because I meant to press this button.
Hey, there we go.
Is that right? There we go.
All right. Blame Stacey. It's her Chromebook. It's fine.
At least you said it was the. Anyway, right. Opening goal. Noni Madueke's corner, headed out, and Zubimendi he hit that pretty good, didn't he? Meadows like, I felt.
Well, I think as one commentator would say, take a boo, son, take a boo. That was incredible. Very good volley first time. And I've said, we've had a lot of players near the box when it comes to corners. I've always suggested, aim for one of them, try to get them to hit it first time, or just take a touch and go for goal. And who knows what happens? That's something I suggested. Obviously,
the corner taking your advice, Bosch.
The corner didn't come for Zubimendi like immediately. It was a header away from a Forest defender, forced to Zubimendi.
Chris Wood, I think.
First time. Oh, was it Chris Wood? Okay.
Another assist for Chris Wood.
First time, incredible volley, and that it could be a contender. Certainly goal of the month contender. Could be goal of the season contender for all we know. That's the second game in a row we've seen a goal of the season contender. Sadly, the other one was for the opposing team. But Zubimendi, fantastic goal. And as far as your first goals go, that was absolutely brilliant. And 1-0 Arsenal. Over 30-odd minutes gone, which was a goal that we needed. Well, I didn't see the full game, AFC Always, when he says the game was boring, so I don't know. I was busy. I was in Birmingham, so yeah.
It wasn't. There wasn't that many chances. There was a Zubimendi, Moreno chance we discussed.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. Arsenal in control. Arsenal completely dominant, but we've heard that before. It was a goal that was needed, but I always felt a goal was coming. I wasn't worried. Arsenal sort of Madueke was causing all sorts of problems down the right. I wasn't worried at all by our performance at that point. But a goal is always helpful, and we got it. And I suspect Szoboszlai will win goal of the season for his free kick rather than Zubimendi because of the deflection. But those people, and there are some that are saying, "Oh, he's got lucky because of a deflection." No, I'm sorry, the technique on that and the power he got by that, I'm not sure Sell saves it even without the deflection.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Sorry, my watch is making noises. Right, I'll say on the game being boring. I think you have to get through a very solid defence, and so it's very similar to Burnley playing against Liverpool yesterday when they set up to defend, and quite honestly, I didn't feel that Forest had much of an attacking policy going forward, apart from the one Wood effort that hit the post, which we'll we'll come to in a minute. But it's funny. Set piece FC comes to strike again, but it wasn't directly from it. It was just a beautiful strike from Zubimendi. What a way to put your mark on you come into a new club and you're scoring a goal like that. I thought it was phenomenal.
His first ever from outside the box, Lee.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Just on your point of trying to break down a solid defence, we signed Eze and players like Gyökeres, Wanyeri, and you know what? Yeah, even Madueke as well. They're players that are meant to sort out our problem when it comes to breaking down defences, but we're still not being able to do that. From that point,
I would disagree.
Disagree with that wholeheartedly because of what happened in the second half.
Okay, you were saying, it's difficult to break down this defence. Well, we've signed the players to do that now. So, but listen, that was in the first half, and we will get to the second half where we did manage to break it down, in the words of DX.
Go on, Tom.
I was just going to say, I think, we scored 8 goals at home in 2 games. Away from home, obviously, Manchester United, it wasn't a great performance, but we got the win. Liverpool, the other one. Arsenal basically faced a low block twice this season and have scored 8 goals. I don't think I think Lee's point was you're not always going to break them down quickly, particularly when you've got a side sitting behind in that first half hour. You want to expose them, you want to run at them, which is exactly what Purdy's saying. That's why you've bought the likes of Madueke, Eze, etc., etc. Yeah. You tire them out, and then when they get tired, that's when you sort of turn the screw. If you're lucky, you can get those early goals in the first couple of minutes, and then, that can change the game if they come out a little bit more. But, I think the signs this season are that we are winning these games comfortably in a way that we weren't last year. At some point, we will struggle and we'll either drop points, it will happen, or we'll get a sneaky 1-0 win like Liverpool. And look, we're going to have to accept that's going to happen at some point. It happened to Liverpool yesterday.
We did this at Old Trafford.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Old Trafford, we played really poorly, let's be honest. But, but the first game of the season is always just get your win. But
I actually argued, and I said this when we did the review of the game at Old Trafford, if this was Liverpool, if this was Man City, people would be saying it's a sign of champions being able to win games at grounds like that. And
I was just about to make the same point.
Which is what we did. I mean, yeah, we did play poorly, but when it comes to fixtures like that, I'd take it. Yeah. We just hope that we don't end up playing like that, at home games, which we didn't against Leeds.
Or Forest.
Yeah. Or Forest, no.
Yeah. And look, you don't want to play like that in all your away games either. Let's be clear. But, Liverpool are, everyone's saying, well, that's a sign of champions, isn't it? Play poorly, win 1-0 away. Will we get the same? Because I think you have to apply the same.
Yeah. So in the comments, we're like a boxer who throws jabs to win on points. There's no knockout punch under this Arteta system. Again, I want to disagree wholeheartedly with that because we've just bought a poacher if you give him a service, it will score, and that coincides with my next point I've written down.
I was going to say, lovely segue into the goal, surely.
Exactly right. So literally a few seconds into the second half, it was Calafiori, I believe, whose long pass found Eze on the left, who literally took one touch straight across into the penalty area, and Gyökeres puts it away for it. He won't get an easier goal in his life. Now that's what I'm talking about. You get a quality delivery in, you've got a poacher in the penalty area, exactly where he should be, and he scores the goal.
So first of all, AFC always mention boxing. Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton.
Second
of all, the second goal, right? This was what we bought Eze for, and it's what we bought Gyökeres for. It was a kind of a counter-attack, wasn't it? The second goal, because again,
it's actually a long ball from kickoff. Calafiori basically smashed it forward.
I didn't watch.
No, but you're right. Exactly that.
But the long ball from thank you for reminding me about the long ball from Calafiori. that was superb. The vision he had was fantastic to be able to find Eze like that. Eze latched onto it brilliantly. And like I said, it's what we signed Eze for all that pace and creativity and the service to provide our poacher, Gyökeres. And we scored a normal goal. It's incredible. And it was thanks to the two new boys in Eze and Gyökeres linking up brilliantly. And yeah, what have I been saying? Whilst it is important for a striker to score goals himself, like he did against Leeds, what is important for Gyökeres is if you provide him with good service, he will provide you with the goals. You know, feed the Yok and he will score. It's what I've been saying. I should get that on a t-shirt. And
completely a posh Bertie original, by the way.
Definitely
no one's ever said anything like that.
No, Harry never said anything about Yakubu ever.
Exactly. Great point. Great point.
But I mean, in all seriousness, no, I agree. What you've got now is two different types of strikers, right? You know, and that's what you want because that can unlock different situations. And you know, a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, Gyökeres, who's that? He looks like he's playing in jeans." Kind of like, what the hell you're talking about? And also, it's like, well, look at him, he's rubbish. It's at this point, Arsenal are adapting to him and he's adapting to Arsenal, and he's still got 3 goals so far. And exactly that gives you someone that runs into the box. Havertz is a very different type of striker. And, you know, there was something, everyone complains about him moving out right too much. And that's absolutely right. And that is sort of an Arteta instruction. It's hoping to try and get the run inside, but that's not Odegaard's game either. I think having Gyökeres as that different type of player gives us something different. You know, and in some games, Havertz is going to play because you'll want the link-up play. And you've got now people like Madueke and Eze that can run beyond him now as well, which will sort of help bring that to the fore. So I think you've got those two different approaches, which I think will be really, really useful. But Arsenal's starting to get used to him. And as you say, Posh, that ball from Calafiori, I mean, I've heard people say he's just lumped it forward. No, I'm sorry. He's calm. Arsenal keep the ball. They keep the ball. There is no way there, and there's no Forest player around him for 8, 9, 10 yards around him. There's no way he just lumps that ball from there. He spotted Eze's run and played it to perfection, as you rightly say, Posh. And then, you know, Gyökeres is getting on the end of it. And hopefully Havertz will see, look, in those situations, that's what I've got to do. I'm not hanging back. I've got to be making that run into that penalty area there, which gives something else to his game, you know. But the new boys combined really, really well. And I thought all of them played really, really well on Saturday. I think Madueke is starting to shut a lot of people up, to be blunt. And he was unfortunate not to get reward with a goal or an assist at the weekend.
What you said about
playing the first goal. Go ahead, Bosch. Sorry.
What you said about Havertz, I do get your point because healthy competition is good. The thing is, Gyökeres is an actual striker.
Yeah, well, I agree. I agree. Havertz's best position is basically as a second striker, right? Somewhere between a 10 and a 9. Is his best position. His
best position is on the bench, Dom.
Well, but that's what I said when you signed him. He will end up being a squad player, and if Havertz is a squad player for you, you know you've got a good squad. And
he's a decent option for a backup.
Yeah, I agree. He's a squad player.
That's the best use of him. He's not a proper out-and-out striker that you're going to play every week that'll get you 20 goals a season. He's not that player. Gyökeres is that player.
Yeah, I mean, I slightly disagree because I think he'd have got 20 goals last season had he stayed fit. But
I disagree, but carry on.
Statistically, I'm right, but we never know, right? I like the math. But you're absolutely right. And, you know, I said it when we bought him. In 2 years' time, he will be a squad player. As it happens, that's exactly what he is now. But as you say, when he's an attacking option you have off the bench, along with all these others, you know you're in with a good squad. But you're right, he's not a natural number 9. As I say, if you put him into his best position, it's somewhere between the 10 and the 9. That's his best position if you were starting him. And Arsenal don't play that system. But what he does do is, if you've got that sort of type, when you're playing someone like a Liverpool, he can sort of unlock that with the space. But you then lose a Gyökeres. But if you're going for those late goals and you've got him and Havertz up front, I think that's kind of what you want, which is why he's a great option off the bench.
Thank you very much for that. I just want to make sure I am keeping up with everything in the chat because AFC.
I think I'm on question watch for AFC Always. I think the question that he wanted to ask you because he wanted you to answer it was, when Saka comes back, would you try Saka left wing, Madueke right wing, Eze in the 10, Gyökeres up top?
I think that's a definite possibility, depending on what the Odegaard situation is.
I'd play Saka on the right, Madueke on the left, in my view. Because
It-
Saka's a natural right winger.
He is. And Madueke's got a very nice left foot as well. Do you know what? They both can interchange. That's what's interesting about the both the players, because when you see Saka on the right, what he tends to do, he tends to have so much pace, and then he'll cut inside onto his left foot and launch a shot away. Madueke, when he plays on the right, is much more direct over that side, isn't he? And it feels like a different dynamic. You have the both of them playing in a lineup. You can interchange them. You don't have to solidify them into one place. You can move them about. That makes it very interesting. What do you think, Don?
I think you've got to get away from the view of what your starting 11 is, right? We talk about using a squad, and therefore there isn't one, and it's different opposition for different players. So what would I do? I think, I prefer Eze on the left side. I'd rather, if you're going for the game late on and you need a goal, you can move Eze into the left 8 and get a left winger out there. I think if you're playing a side that are going to play the low block, then actually just play a single pivot of Zubimendi or Rice and then play Odegaard and Eze. But I would, if I was to have Madueke and Saka starting, I'd have Madueke left, Saka right. I think both are natural right wingers rather than left wingers. But I'm sorry, Saka is one of, if not the best right winger in the world. So he has to start on the right. But what you can do, and you sort of referring to it there, is interchange through the game. Switch for 10 minutes, switch back, cause the fullbacks problems as to which one, And if one of them is struggling with the more direct running of Madueke, not that Saka's indirect, of course, then you probably put him against that fullback. But you just interchange the squad based on who's playing where. And it's why Arteta has an opportunity now and no reason to not rotate at all this season. Lee's gone dark.
Yes, I think he did say he was going to. He was expecting a phone call.
Yeah, which I'm assuming is what he's done now. But
yes, of course.
Posh, thoughts on the third goal? It was Arsenal sort of worked the ball around, and it looked like we were going to sort of do the sort of horseshoe, work the ball, and hope for an opening. And suddenly the sort of cross came in from the sort of just outside the box on the left hand side, picking Zubimendi out at the far post, who headed it in for what apparently is a rare headed goal for him. I mean, I can't say exactly how many.
A rare goal from outside the box and a rare goal from a header. He's completing so many things. Zubi. Can I just say that goal was very similar to Gyökeres's goal against Athletic Bilbao in the friendly.
Yeah,
that was
a Kivior ball, wasn't it?
I think it was Zubimendi that put the ball in actually to Gyökeres.
Kivior was the Saka. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
That cross, very nice from Trossard off the bench, and found Zubimendi perfectly. And little old Zubimendi managed to get a header. And from what I gathered, it looked like it was game over. I said it was game over at 2-0. Chris Wood had an effort that clipped the post.
Yeah, I was going to come back to that one in a second because I should have done it first. But
no worries. But it was a good cross from Trossard. Found Zubimendi perfectly. And I am this is where I am going to do a little bit of nitpicking here because look, Arsenal have scored 9 goals so far. 6 of them, I think, have been from set pieces. I just wish we would score a bit more normal goals. That's what I want for the majority. I want the majority of our goals to be normal. Don't get me wrong, a goal is a goal, but it'll be nice to not heavily rely on set pieces all the time. I'd like to see some normal open play goals.
I think to your point here, right, Arsenal, I think, percentagely have the lowest or the second lowest number of goals that aren't set piece related this season. I think over time that will sort of even itself out. And I think we're starting to see the signs of it coming together. But I think you're absolutely right. Arsenal you can see they're trying to sort of transition slightly more back to that faster pace, moving the ball forward, and you're sort of seeing, Odegaard do slightly more of it on the ball because Zubimendi gets him quicker. Wanyeri did it well. And you've got those direct runners of Eze, Madueke, Saka's yet to come back in. You know, so I think that will come, but you're absolutely right. Until it does start to come, it will be a question for Arsenal. But as you also say, we shouldn't discount the goals from set pieces, because you say a goal is a goal, but we saw them dry up as well last year. But what was also good to see, just on the set pieces, was Madueke taking the corners as well at the weekend. You know, so we had different corner takers on different sides, which allowed us to be far more dangerous than we were at Liverpool when you had Rice taking the corners all day long. And that's not to criticise Rice. Rice's delivery was very good. He had an off day that day, but it was good to see us sort of change that up a little bit.
Hi guys, sorry, I'm back.
That's right. We just covered the third goal, but we haven't covered the Chris Wood chance or the Gyökeres chance.
Okay, I am a little bit thrown, and I've got to tell you all why. That was my mum who just rang me, and she's been into surgery today. She's had hip replacement surgery, and she's sounding well. And so she just asked me to ring her back as soon as I can. So I will do it as soon as I can. Right. So what do I need to talk about? Where are we?
Well, we did the third goal, Lee, but we had the Chris Wood chance at the other end, which, you know, gives us a chance to talk about Oscar if you like. But there was the Gyökeres chance as well, which I thought was a lovely move. When probably could have squared it but hit the post. But
okay, so so this was just so we're at 2-0. Calafiori gives the ball away. That was my observation on that. And Doy gets up, crosses the ball on the right hand side. Chris Wood's kind of shoulder connected on it, hit the post, and it comes out. Just in the play after that, Mosquera got a brilliant tackle in on Hudson-Odoi. Great impact from the new signing for a great defensive clearance. Do you want to go, Posh? Anything you want to say on that one?
I did see the Chris Wood chance. Great save from Raya as well. It did clip the post, but Raya had it covered.
He got a touch in it, I think.
Yeah, and you know, people, and I'm not aiming this at anyone in particular, but the people that are still trying to scapegoat David Raya every time we concede a goal, quite frankly, need to be quiet, because he's a very good goalkeeper. Yes, I get it. He does annoy me when he's off his line and he gets chipped a lot. I really hope he hasn't done that as of yet. Famous last words, touch wood. But in terms of saves, he's much improved from last season onwards. He's improved so much on his saving. When we first got him, I said he's better with his feet, but now he's great as a saver as well. So I just want to. I think Rare should get a lot of credit for what he's done overall at Arsenal.
I agree. I agree. There was a genuine question about whether you went Raya for his ability with his feet and his command of the area, or whether you went Ramsdale with his shot stopping. You know, because Ramsdale's was, but by the end of the first season, there was no question Raya was the better across all three categories. And he worked hard at that, really hard.
Yeah. 100th game, by the way, for Arsenal, I think.
And 42nd clean sheet.
There you go. That's not a bad record at all. Big up to Emilia Martinez, who's in the Twitch chat. So hello, nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us.
AFC always says he wishes your mum a speedy recovery, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that and I said thank you very much, like that. Yeah. So it's good to see you all here. If you're on the Twitch, just give us a follow over there as well. Is it Raya's birthday today?
I think was it yesterday or today? He's 30.
Yesterday. He's 30.
Do
you want to sing happy birthday, or should we leave that?
No,
we'll leave that.
We best leave it, because I think Dom has to go soon.
My voice is still a bit hoarse over the ciders on Saturday. So no.
I got you. And I'm very aware of the time, Dom. I'll try and speed this along.
I've got 10 minutes, and then I do have to go.
You mentioned Mosquera. Yes, he has been very good in replacement for Saliba. Yeah, I can't add anything else to that. He's been very good so far. Very impressed with him.
I agree. I think the only thing we have to be careful of is he's a young defender, and at some point he's going to have a rough patch. He's going to make mistakes. Same with Miles Lewis-Skelly, of course, who was excellent last season. That will happen as young defenders. But yeah, Posh is right. He's absolutely superb. as I said it after the Liverpool game, he plays 90 minutes at Anfield basically against the best attack in the league, and it didn't look like we missed William Saliba, and there's no higher compliment you can give him.
And to your point, Dom, on Lewis Skelly, exactly what you were talking about. He hasn't made a start for the side yet, but he will do eventually. He'll come into the side. He might even come in the middle of next week in the Carabao Cup. But I don't think that's bad management at all. I think it's really good that we're getting usage of a squad, like we say. Calafiori got August Player of the Month at Arsenal because of everything that he's done. Difficult to replace him, but it's again, when you have a player who wasn't even considered in the first team, like this time last season, he would have come in quite late. It never even had a pre-season. This is actually not a bad thing for him in his development. It gives him a chance to just take stock a little bit. He'll be back in the side at some stage very soon, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, agreed.
Posh?
Yeah, Saliba, he hopefully will be back soon. Again, I'm always concerned about rushing him back and things like that. But at the moment, Mosquera has took his position like a duck to water, and so far he's done very well. And as I said, it's a contrast compared to three years ago, where if we lost Saliba, we had to bring on Mr. Holding. Then it was grim thoughts, really. But no, Mosquera's done very well. And again, the game at Anfield, he made us look like we weren't missing Saliba, which has gone. So that is a high compliment.
Well, just quickly, AFC always is what I think that's what will happen, but I don't think he should play against City if he doesn't play any part tomorrow night. I don't want him going in cold. But I think that's what the plan is.
Well, we'll see. It's an earlier kickoff, I believe, tomorrow night. So we'll see, and that's possibly was part of the thinking in terms of doing a few changes as well. But the one bit of play that we will talk about, which wasn't a goal, Gorkarez hitting the post. This is another bit of praise I want to give for Noni Madueke, who managed to get the ball on the right hand side, and lovely little bit of skill. Then finds Gorkarez a little bit wider. He did smack the post. It was on a narrow angle, but it wasn't a bad shot at all, and a good bit of open play there.
Dom, do you want to?
No, it's right. You go.
Okay. I think Madueke did well in that. He found Gyökeres overlapping him, and I thought that the angle was a bit tight. He hit the bar, I think.
The upright.
Yeah, it was from a tight angle. Maybe if Madueke went for goal, it could have gone in. I don't know, but who knows?
I thought the interchange was
work from the two.
Yeah, I thought the interchange was the right decision, right? To a lovely overlapping run, that curved run around the back of him to find him. But and he's had a good effort. I think if you're going to be critical about anything here, and ironically, we call for players to shoot more. I think he probably should have cut it back into the middle. And if he hit it low and hard across the box, it might have gone in or hit someone because there were runners coming in, could have hit a Forest defender. But, Sells was certainly taken by surprise that he went for it from there. And that will be a warning to players for the future that he's not afraid to shoot. So there is a plus side to him having to go and missing from there. And
Sells is a really good goalkeeper as well. He won the Golden Glove with David Raya last season.
Yeah.
Excellent goalkeeper, really good player. And well earned praise there as well. AFC always saying Madueke had a very good game. He needs to do this on a consistent basis. I think he started his Arsenal career really well, especially on the wake of the No to Madueke campaign on Twitter, etc., etc., etc. I think he was brilliant. He was probably our most poignant attacker at Anfield. He had a very good game here, and you wouldn't even think that Saka was missing, frankly, because he did a really good game on Saturday. That's my view. My view, anyway.
So it's only 4 games. I'm not going
Yeah.
to judge a player based on so little games he's played. I'm not going to immediately start saying, all right, he's the best player we've had. He's amazing and all that. No. So far, he's exceeded my expectations. And I genuinely thought he was possibly our best player at Anfield. I know we lost, but I think he was certainly our best player. He looked very dangerous, and from what I heard, majority of the time against Forest, he was very good as well. So, very good start for Madueke. But as AFC always says, when he's in the team, whether he's replacing Saka or he's going to be on the left when Saka comes back, he needs to do this on a consistent basis. If he is a player that people believe he can be part of the team that can win trophies for us, then Madueke has to do this on a consistent basis. All of our players have got to play well on a consistent basis if you want to win the Premier League. So it's no different to any others. So I'm not gonna say, oh, I was wrong. Madueke's so amazing and brilliant after 4 games. But so far, I'm pleased with what he's been doing. Long may it continue.
I think that's right. Is what we've just been saying about not Madueke, Mosquera at the back. Really good so far, no question. But he's going to have a dip. I think. And similarly, when players come in and struggle early doors, I think I never judge a new signing fully until after 6 months, because some hit the ground running and then it tapers off. Some struggle to start well and then get better and better. So what I do think is Madueke has been the best of the 350 million pound wingers. I think 50 million pounds for those guys is ridiculous, but that's the market. Mm-hmm. But I'm not been surprised by how well he's played. I said my issue with the signing was the price, and would it impact us getting a player like Rodrigo, as it turned out, and that was always the risk, which is why I understood why they went early. Rodrigo didn't move anywhere. I think he thinks he's going to outlast Alonso at Real Madrid, and if not, he can move next summer. But so far, he has done very, very well. He's been the best attacker. I think he's been the most consistent attacker across the 4 games for Arsenal.
That's the one.
But Posh is right. He has to continue that. There will be dips. Wingers always have dips, but
Absolutely agree with that 100%. Being that I know Dom has to go for the football, and being that I desperately want to talk to my mum because I've been
Haaland's
my mum. I've been so worried since 11 o'clock this morning when she went into surgery, and being that she ran me on the stream, I didn't want to put a voice on the stream because obviously she wouldn't want that. But I do want to wrap it up here, guys. I want to say thank you very much to Arsenal Domination. Thank you, Dom Palmer. Thank you very much to Posh Bertie. Firstly, Dom, do you have anything coming up? Video coming up tomorrow, perhaps?
Yeah, I've got the preview tomorrow for the game. Obviously, done pre-press conference. But yeah, I have that out tomorrow.
And at what time?
Oh, 8:01, obviously.
The 01. Do not forget the 01.
Thank you very much.
Up here for thinking, down there for dancing. We'll leave it there. It's a PG show.
Absolutely. Posh, anything you want to promote before we disappear, mate?
Yes, I actually want to show you something that I won recently. And no, it's not the T20 trophy. It is this phenomenal, not AJ Styles, but a very phenomenal Roman Reigns clock. Now, you must be wondering, how on earth did I win this? This was a prize that was given away on the Drop Zone show on the Mr. Arsenal podcast. I entered the draw and I won it, much to the dismay of some of the more positive Arteta inners in that inner circle. But no, I managed to win it, and this will be acknowledged at all times. Pun very much intended. Subscribe to the Mr. Arsenal podcast. And yeah,
absolutely.
Porsche, I had clocked you'd won that.
The joke,
very
the
well
timed coming.
Hey, did you win it on TikTok?
Oh, jeez, that's even worse than one of mine, Dom. My God. On that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get out of here. Time is up. Our time is now. Thank you very much for watching. We shall see you very shortly indeed. Come on, the Arsenal. Good luck to the Arsenal against in the
Athletic
Champions
Club.
League tomorrow.
Athletic Bilbao.
And I believe the last comment here is Emerson Cozier saying good luck to the under 19s against Atletico Bilbao tomorrow as well. Thank you very much for that, Emerson. And we are out. Thank you very much. If you got this far, hit the like button on both the channels. We are out of here. Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Good boy, my lovers.